Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
Chill cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
I gotta remember all the voices I did last day. Shoot. Well, new voices. Golly, yeah, sure. Yeah. Golly, I sure rang my bell.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Look at what's going on here. Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Just got a little startled. Or Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Just let me out of these ropes and we'll call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why should I turn my back on your family now? It's just... all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town. An archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives. I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This'll all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought
He
to...
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. And let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
Okay. Rumble. Tickle. Hazardous hectoring. Right, this is when... His name is Hector, right? The bully? Got pushed into the green stuff. Tickles.
Well, time to bust out the tickles.
So this is the other storyline where we meet Beck a different way. We haven't known her very long or very well at this point. Hey Tish, wanna see something cool? Yeah? Check it.
Beck lunged forward and began to tickle under Tish's arms.
What the? Tish, is she tickling you? Yup. Yup. Yup.
Tears began to form in Tish's eyes as she gasped for breath between gales of laughter. Beck redoubled her efforts until Tish finally had had enough.
What just happened? She seems nice. Sorry for the interruption. I think you were just threatening us.
Iggy's eyes darted around, a realization dawning on his face that he was now outnumbered.
I just remembered. I have somewhere to be. Mm-hmm. See you around, new kid.
Iggy kicked at the puddle before making his escape.
Oh no. No, 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 no. What a little creep. Beck, I think you got a little ooze in your hair.
Beck shook the ooze out of her hair as best as she could.
Is it bad? It depends. What are your feelings about having a more mature, refined look? Okay. That could have been worse. Oh god.
Chapter 4. The Best Policy. Luca paused for a moment, catching his breath. He'd only just met Beck, and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her, but finding Rollo was his primary concern.
Luca, what the hell are you doing out here? And why did a kid with gray hair just run past us in a panic?
Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching.
That's Beck. I don't care who she is. What happened? We were just helping look for Rollo. Luca, I need you to start telling me the truth.
Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older sibling, but this was the most intense Luca had ever seen her. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking straight through Luca.
We're running out of time.
In a torrent of rambled words and tears, Luca broke down.
Rollo and I weren't just playing Weep Wood yesterday. We were investigating the lights at the old Valentine warehouse. But someone was there in a strange suit. And we hid in the dumpster and had a heavy bag dropped on us. And I think it was a body. So, We ran, but we got split up. And I ran home. And it's all my fault. And now my best friend may never come back. Wow. Just... wow.
Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground in thought. With a determined sigh, she looked up at Luca.
Not your fault, Luca. Rollo's gonna be okay. I promise.
Roxy drew herself up.
I'm gonna fix this. Luca, go home. But I want to help. This is too dangerous for a kid. I can't just sit around. I have to do something.
Roxy tried to think of the safest place to send Luca.
Go back to that little treehouse you two like to play in. Wait there in case Rollo shows up. Sound like a plan?
Luca wiped his cheeks and gave a quick nod.
You did the right thing telling me the truth. Now scoot. You really believe his story? What other option do we have? Things have been strange around here leading up to the festival. My dad has been acting weird lately. Is her dad one of the clipboards? Well, weirder than normal.
Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
Why is it so cold here? This place gives me the willies. No, don't. Okay. So Beck's probably gone back to her parents' house. So we're not likely gonna see her again.
Mr. Nuncreed jumped with a start.
Whoa, don't sneak for an old fellow like that. Sorry. Who were you talking to? What?
Luca motioned to the phone booth.
Oh no. I was just checking because I thought I heard it ring. But the dang thing never does, of course. Yeah, I've never seen anyone use it, really. The whole thing's a waste of money, if you ask me. Any word from Rollo yet? Not yet. Long time for a boy to lose his way. Rollo knows these woods too well to get lost. I suppose you're right. Silly boy's antics have this whole town worried sick. Antics? We all know Rollo likes to play his little pranks. You think this is a prank? What other possible explanation could there be? He's not playing a prank and he didn't get lost. Someone took him, I know it. How would you know that? Unless... Luca, is there something else that you know?
Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his substantial hands on Luca's shoulder.
Daniel boy, if there's something you know, something that could help your friend, you need to tell folks.
Luca peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. Kind eyes warmed a stern face. There was a deeper emotion hiding beneath it all. It was subtle, but Luca could sense something eating away at him.
There was a what lurking behind his eyes? Shame.
There was a shame lurking behind those eyes. A deep sadness. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help.
Yesterday, Rollo and I were messing around at the old Valentine warehouse.
Mr. Nuncreed raised an eyebrow.
Both of you? He was the one in the suit. missing? Not exactly. I was hiding in the dumpster. The dumpster? What were you doing in there? At first we were just looking around. Then someone in a strange yellow suit came and dumped something on us. We both got scared and ran. It was the last I saw of him. You got scared by some garbage? Well, that's why you don't go skulking in someone's dumpster. But it wasn't garbage. I think it was a body. I'm sure it was just some trash. No, there was a name tag. It said Deep Engineering.
Mr. Nuncreed's shoulders slumped.
I wish you hadn't said that.
A deep sigh bellowed from his chest.
Why did you have to? I tried, Luca. God knows I tried to keep you safe.
Luca attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand clamped down on his shoulder.
But you Van Horns can't keep to yourselves, can you? We were all so close to being done with this.
With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luca into the phone booth.
What are you doing? It's out of my hands now.
The door latched shut with a mechanical hiss.
Shit.
As Luca pounded the glass, the floor dropped from under his feet. The inside of the phone booth was now a loose capsule plummeting at gravity's whim. Luca winced and pressed his hands to the walls. As he braced for impact, the capsule hurried to a surprisingly smooth stop. He felt a cold rush of air and opened his eyes with hesitance. Two large figures in hazmat suits occluded his view. Luca heard the deep, resigned voice of Mr. Nuncreed over an intercom.
Is there a third party? Deep Engineering. Yeah, I think there's a third party. A third organization. Maybe Gren was infiltrating in that other timeline.
He knows too much. The end. Wait. No. This isn't the end. I know there's still much more. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else.
Only one left. Let's change the weather. So this is the timeline where we got to know Obek a little better, and also she didn't get any of the green goo on her.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder.
You sure we can make it home before the storm kicks off?
Luca surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the odds are good. Maybe you should stay here and I'll just make a break for it.
At that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
Care to recalculate those odds? Hurry inside, you two, before you catch cold. Okay. So Rollo is still fine. He's waiting in the treehouse. We don't know about the basement. I'm just trying to keep track of what branching path this is. Beck has not met Rollo. Tish is not covered in green goo. That was in the other one. The other main branch. where Rolo went missing. Ah, my brain. Look, Nelly, we'll keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. In the meantime, you two hold tight. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff's still in the boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guest.
Luca squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
This looks wild. What is it? Gum. Gum?
Luca adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
I'm tracking the structural integrity of gum with increased amounts of chewing. Chewed that one for 47 days.
Luca wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool.
Luca bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Pungent. Okay.
He flipped open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and all the Fairview Condors.
Quack, quack, quack.
Hello. It's going good. I reached a few other bad ends while you were away. Currently, we're in the timeline where Rolo is still fine. The kids still don't know much about what's going on. And Beck did not meet Rolo yet. We're stuck at their house because the sky opened up and it started raining. Multiple something's bad's happened. We got locked in the basement. From the last time we left off, we tried to interrogate what's his name? The vegetable shopkeep. His name is slipping my mind. I have it here somewhere. Hiram Tolliver. So we didn't successfully interrogate him, and he locked us downstairs. We went back to the other side, where we're in the scene with Tish and... Tish is the big one, right? Anyways, Beck and our boy here were confronting the bully and his muscle right by the green puddle of goo. Instead, Beck tickled the big one. She ran off. So did the bully, but not before kicking the green goo and getting some in Beck's hair. So she ran off with a gray patch of hair instead of a black tuft of hair on the front of her forehead. Then we don't see her again. After that, we got caught by Mr. Nuncreed and sent down a secret tunnel through the phone booth. I know it's a lot to take in, even with just 2 short endings back to back. But we're currently at Beck's house, back on the other main branch. We're learning more about Beck right now. Boy, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry, was this from your old school? The most recent one, yeah. Crazy nothing happened? No, crazy everything happens here. You ever watch Gravity Falls? It's not that wild or weird, it's a little more structured, but it's that kind of crazy small town. Some schools gave me going away cards. Some did flowers. When they're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. So you moved a lot. Yeah, that's the thing with having a brilliant parents. Yeah, I'm having fun with this one. My day's been good. Very, very lazy day. But I figured I may as well do something, so... we put it back up. There's always a better job somewhere else. These flowers would last longer if you put them in some water. That's the sort of thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them, is all. Oh wow. Rolo and I just have a radio just like this at the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. My mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fitted with some state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. Seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. How much did her mom do and how much did Beck do? Alright. You hang out. I think she feels guilty from working too much. So when she does have time for me, she showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luca flicked at one of the toggles.
I bet you can get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. But around here, it's all farm reports and static. Ah, shucks. Luca, can I ask you something? Of course. Dang, didn't that hurt? I'll be honest. That hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you look cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? Like, even when people are around? Well, Rolo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Gran loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a problem.
Luca took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? I guess I haven't yet. But one thing my dad told me when I was little. Don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. If you try to hold it all in, you're gonna pop. So then, what do you do? When you don't know what to do? Dad never got to that part. Something I figured out on my own, though. You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know. Something. We're gonna register a complaint with the storm. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop tricking me around. I just want things to go back to the way they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be alright. That things are gonna change.
Luca let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that I hate it. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere? I'm not doing that one. That's just nonsense.
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
I just want to be a normal kid.
Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow. I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks. I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rolo at the festival? Oh no. We've never gotten to the festival before. And I get the feeling there's multiple goings-ons that in this timeline, none of the kids are aware about. They're just gonna hit the fan. Sounds good. Luca. Don't let the universe jerk you around.
Beck gave Luca a light thump on the arm before heading in. Chapter 5. Friendly Feud.
Oh?
The air was heavy with the hard rain's residue. The smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luca felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone, not even Rolo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rolo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luca told himself as he headed to the treehouse.
Oh? Hello, Don. Hey, Don. Tracking down a lead? You bet. I heard a juicy new rumor. Turns out, when Sharper Valentine died, he left behind a particular last will and testament. Peculiar how? He didn't just give his kids an inheritance. There were conditions. Like what? The document stipulated that heirs had to take on a child as her ward. A kid our age, who just showed up to town one night with a lawyer. I'm sorry, what? The kid that I'm thinking of looks a lot like Sharper in the history video. They're not that closely related, are they? Solomon? Bingo! So Eris was forced to take care of him? Yep, or she would have lost everything. Why would Sharper care so much about some random kid? Rumor has it, old Sharper sowed some wild oats. That explains the way Eris treats him. Poor Solomon. How'd you find all this out? A good reporter never reveals her source, Luca. Why is she not the head of investigations around this place? Why is it me, Rolo, and Beck? Well, she's probably smarter than to just mess around like that. Oh, she's still here reading. What juicy bits you got for us? He met his old friend's eyes. It was greeted with nothing but ice-cold anger. Oh, come on! Heavens! This is no time for fractured friendships. We're gonna have a fight with Rolo over Beck? Come on. Okay. Excuse me, what are you doing? Just locking up for the night, sir. Oh, wonderful. I I can only assume this means all festival preparations have been completed ahead of schedule. Not exactly, sir. The storm is setting us back a bit, and it's getting late, so we all decided to... You all decided? Yes, sir. I was unaware that your job involved deciding things. We are all here at Perennial Harvest because we believe in creating a better future, yes? Yes, sir. Very much, sir. Do you want to be the one to tell this town that we failed them? No? That we gave up because there was a little rainstorm and we all got sleepy? Of course not, sir. Good. Then it's decided. Yes, sir. We'll work till the task is done. See that you do. A harvest awaits. Okay, the Perennial Harvest has a stake in the festival or something absurd. Our Gran and her co-conspirators have a stake in the festival involving blowing up the fountain. We have no idea what the old man from the drugstore. His name's slipping in my mind right now. I can't keep these names and voices straight. He's involved with... He's involved with the people working at the Valentine warehouse. With that green goo. That makes everything cold. It makes everything age too fast. How many threads are we holding here? I'm counting 2 or 3. We have no idea what Gran is looking at because she seems to have a finger in multiple pies. If there's 3. I don't know. Let's do some memory fishing. Pungent.
Luca wrapped a twig of thyme around the hook. Some fish have refined taste.
Old watch. Broken watch. Property of Sharper Valentine. Figures. If he had his way, property of Sharper Valentine would be written on everything in this town. Should we give it back to him? He may not even want it back. The man's got a contentious relationship with me, with time. Well, if that's not a thread... Is Solomon supposed to be a younger, Sharper Valentine? Like a young clone? Like how all the clipboards look like clones? Look and act like clones. Perennial Harvest is Sharper's Valentines. I had a feeling it was a new... incarnation. Not necessarily a new company. We'll keep it here in case he ever wants to pick it up. Rollo, are you still up there? I'm sorry, Rollo isn't accepting any visitors at the moment. Come back never! Okay, so he's just fighting because he got stood up.
Luca had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times, and it always meant one thing.
You're upset. Oh? What makes you say that? Maybe because my best friend abandoned me for no reason? I didn't abandon you. I'm just a little late.
Rollo scoffed.
The rain held me up. Liar! You weren't even home! What? The storm got bad and I got worried. So I went looking for you. Imagine my surprise when I made it to your house. And you weren't there. I hadn't made it back yet. You're not a fool, Luca. Doesn't take all day to deliver some jam. No, that storm rolled in out of nowhere. And I got stuck after dinner at Beck's.
Luca stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much.
Beck? Dinner? What the heck is a Beck? She's a new kid in town. She's actually kind of cool. You'd like her. She needed help convincing your parents that she made new friends. New friends? I spent all day waiting for you. And you were off making new friends? Not like that, Rollo. You know, while I was waiting, I made some upgrades to Mission Control. It was gonna be a surprise. But you took so long, the storm knocked it all down. Just like you knocked down our friendship. What does that even mean?
Luca became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now shouting across the distance.
It means you're a bad friend. You don't care about me. Of course I care, you ass. I knew I'd get in trouble waiting so late for you. But I kept my word. Because that's what friends do. Oh wow, what a noble sacrifice you made. Easy for you to say. Your grand doesn't even care. You can stay out as long as you want. And you wouldn't even get in trouble. Seriously? You're acting like I chose this? If that's what you think, then maybe you're the bad friend.
Rollo's tone changed to a calm, yet more intense anger.
Maybe Pa's right. Thorns bring more than water. This one brought out the real Luca. Stop quoting your Pa's nonsense like it means anything. Yeah, well, at least my Pa's still around.
The words hung in the cold night air. Rollo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line. But it was too late.
Luca, Good night, Rollo. Dang it. Okay. Huh.
Luca dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for.
Rollo. What a jerk. Call me a bad friend. Ooh, I'm Rollo. Look at me and my amazing family. I guess I'm never supposed to make new friends. Weep. Alright. Luca?
Gran cooed gently from the hallway.
You slept straight through breakfast. Luca, are you alright? I'm fine. Just don't feel like getting up yet. Okay, I'll leave this oatmeal by the door. I've got to run out and take care of some things. Okay. I'll be back later to check in. Sure.
Luca just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
I bet Rollo's still gonna go to the festival. He's gonna be miserable. If Rollo thinks I'm still going to the festival with him, he could shove it. So I'm just gonna sulk in my room? Kicking around a ball?
Luca dozed off again.
Luca, I didn't see you eat your oatmeal. Wasn't hungry. Well, just in case you get hungry, I'll leave a sandwich here too. Thanks. Rollo came by. What did he say? He wanted to talk to you. What did you say? I told him you weren't feeling well. Good. So, your plan is just to sit in your room all day? Pretty much. Well, I need to pop away again for a minute. If you decide to end your pity party and go outside, I think it'd do you some good. Noted.
Luca still couldn't bring himself to go out. Besides, if he ran into Rollo, he'd have to actually confront the situation.
There's never anything interesting at the festival anyway. This is interesting. There.
The Adventures of Hank Atomic.
The complete first volume.
Luca carefully opened the cover and began to read. Rollo had received it for his birthday. A special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art. Rollo cherished it, but asked that Luca keep it at his house. Luca wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luca's more often. Whatever the reason, Luca didn't mind. But it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luca lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Luca? Another little friend came to see you. A girl named Beck Modwell. She said you met yesterday? What did she say? Is she here? She was just dropping by. I told her you weren't taking visitors today. Oh. She seems nice. Yeah. You had a fight with Rollo, didn't you? Can I come in? Maybe later. Alright then. I'll leave dinner on the kitchen table. I've been here all day. In case you want a bite before bedtime.
Without realizing it, Luca had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luca stood in a vast black expanse.
Ooh, another dream. What clue are we gonna get this time?
He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake.
Fountain glass.
Dad, where are we? Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source. Luca's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. Well, if it isn't the man of the hour, make yourself comfortable. Luca held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way here. Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame, see? Luca peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself. Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luca could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People. Luca leapt to his feet. "We've got to help them!" The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. "Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves?" The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames. "They only care about what's right in front of them, not like us." Luca's voice was a trembling whisper. "Us?" The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luca's own face looked back at him. Older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar.
Why is there always a warping of time with these dreams and memories?
As if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. "I tried to help once." He gestured towards his face. "And all it got me was this." Luca staggered back. "You aren't me." Luca felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. "Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son." Luca watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin. "Welp, Dad, if you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint." Luca watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. "What does all of this mean?" Luca felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. "Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what we choose." Luca woke up to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun.
No, dear. It's only Gran.
Luca rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Fine? Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. That's just as well. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rolo fought about doesn't matter. But
Gran silenced Luca with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is that it's not the last thing you ever say to each other. But he said stuff about Dad. Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. Mm-hmm. And what did you mean any of the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate their friends in their best moments and accept them in their worst. Hey, new charm. Accept. Now get your little butt out of bed. The festival's today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I guess not. Seems like a good opportunity to make amends with Rolo, doesn't it?
Luca gave a reluctant nod.
So buy him a corn dog and apologize. But he's the one that... What did I just say? Buy him a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Got some last minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. Alright. I love you, Luca. I love you too.
Luca took a deep breath.
Okay.
Chapter 6. Through Thick and Thin. Despite Luca's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out with Rollo. A big fight changes the nature of a friendship. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, all comes down to understanding. If one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds can become the wrecking ball that shatters them. Luca emerged from seclusion, taking in the crisp festival air. But the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find Rollo.
Okay, so this is Rollo's sister. Luca. Rollo wanted me to tell you something. What is it?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking her head.
A space adventure, though you don't needn't buy it. If you be brave, go somewhere quiet. Roxy, I don't... It's a riddle, Luca. My goofy little brother wants you to find him.
Luca looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Look, I know you two had a fight. The only thing more annoying than my little brother is my little brother without his best friend. So I'm doing him this one favor. Now I need one favor from you. Whatever it is that went down between you two, squash it. Library. But we're talking with everyone first because this is going to prove interesting. Old Pickler's Pond. No. Wait, can I not talk to anyone? Hello, Clipboard. Welcome to our festival. Don't forget to come back later for Mr. Kerr's speech. And the perennial harvest sign reveal. Solomon and his friends changed that sign underneath the drape. You don't want to miss it. We saw that in another timeline. There's another clipboard over here. Nope, can't talk to him. Oh, he's doing practices. Mr. Kerr. Unique, New York. Unique in New York. Blah, 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 blah. I could probably use those practices. Huh? Oh, don't mind me. Just warming up for my big ceremony speech.
Mr. Kerr pointed to his grinning mouth.
Gotta limber up the old gap box. You nervous? Oh, heavens no. Well, break a leg. I missed what he last said, but it looked like a fun one. I don't know who Perennial Harvest thinks they're impressing with this ridiculous festival. Totally. The town's still falling apart. The weather's still cruddy. And this season's harvest looks like it's gonna be worse than last year's. You said it. No amount of corporate pandering is gonna change any of that. Exactly. But the lemonade at the drink stand over there does look pretty tasty. Fits. I'm still gonna be mad at them. I'd just rather be mad while sipping some delicious lemonade is all. Ain't moving. Still sleeping there.
Jeff was staring into the distance with a wistful look.
Hey, Jeff. Everything all right? Huh? Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, used to be fine. Just ain't right these days, you know. I really do, actually.
Jeff turned to Luca with a furrowed brow, then gave an understanding nod.
You do, don't you?
For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
I thought I was going to get another charm for that right there for a second. Every single time. Yup. Wait for it. Unexplained sound, once again noted. They're messing with the clipboards over perennial harvest. Like clockwork. What a bunch of drones. Haha. How many of these clipboards are around? They got desks everywhere. There's 2 at the main lot where the festival's being held. There's 1 here in Town Square. A most welcoming of welcomes. Would you like to share your thoughts? We always strive to improve. Nope. This is the first time I've seen this many smiling faces since the fall harvest. I had my doubts about perennial harvest. But I must admit, they do put on a nice party. The PR is working. Hiya, Luca. What? I missed that. Oh, nothing. Something about Griffin.
Sorry all became flesh.
Just pretend I didn't say anything. Gabriel. Griffin or Gabriel, was it? Piper, you're actually taking a break from studying. I wanted to see what all the festival fuss was about. But I can't help but notice. You still brought your backpack full of books. Look, backpacks can carry a lot more than just books. True. So what you got in there? Books. Oh. No foreshadowing from our local reader this time. Luca, did you know that Picking Pines is actually unincorporated? A lot of people don't know that. Wow, yeah, I didn't know. What's that mean? It means most public works are handled internally. A raid? Hi. Stotinator. That's a good name. We do all the pipelines, the water treatment. Hello. Building regulations. That's great. Census talking. Emergency services. Hey, Luca. So you're done at the library? Huh? Oh, nothing. I knew it. Rollo's at the library.
Griffin looked away suspiciously.
Griffin. Oh, that's the one that Tatsushi has a crush on. Griffin. Oh, it's a new game. It's an indie game. It was a Kickstarter. It recently released, though. It's Beacon Pines. Small town, mysterious goings-on. Branching paths based on different decisions. It's pretty fun. Nothing at all. Although, I've been trying to voice act, and I've been terrible at keeping the voices straight, so... Yeah, it's really good art. I'm sorry, what? What? I was able to return the perennial harvest safety suit you borrowed. I don't think anyone noticed. Good. Well, now will you tell me what you needed it for? It was a favor for an enemy of my enemy. This isn't going to harm Mr. Kerr, is it? All you need to know is that it's for the good of the family. Okay, so that's Eris and Gus. The library, somewhere quiet. Okay. Hey, Luca.
Kato's eyes lit with excitement.
I've been expecting you. Bravo on deciphering the first riddle. The first. Oh, you didn't think that was all, did you? Rollo does go all out, doesn't he?
Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
Ahem. Ahem. On Planet Farpool, you may take issue. When the fifth king dies, you'll need a tissue.
Kato stared at Luca eagerly.
Get it? Want me to tell you? No, it's okay. Let me figure it out. Alright, when you find it, bring it here to be verified. And if you decide you want a hint, the offer still stands. Fifth issue.
Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 4, from the shelf. Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic. Luca grabbed the adventure.
There it is. Ah, you found it.
Kato removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luca's, turning on the lamp. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed. The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue 5. Luca clicked his tongue with recognition.
Yellow's cipher pen. He used to write secret messages everywhere with that. Only I had the special flashlight needed to reveal it. But I lost it. Well, apparently he traded Jeff for this purple light bulb. Parted with his entire Halloween candy stash. Oh, Rollo. Now let's see here.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
Get away with such a grift.
He continued flipping.
Only found in... Grub. Cart.
Reaching the end of the book, Kato looked up.
That's it. Grift in grub. Cart? Griftin Griffin. Griffin's grub cart. He wants you to go to Griffin's snack stand. That's why Griffin knew. Ah, brilliant. I guess you're off then? Good luck on the rest of the scavenger hunt. Thanks, Kato. This one so far is probably the most innocent timeline because none of the kids still know anything about what's going on. I went too far. Hey, Griffin. Did Rollo come?
Before Luca could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn dog.
Oh, that's it? Bought and paid for. Enjoy. I thought there was supposed to be some riddle or something.
Luca shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn dog.
Yuck. It's cold. Oh yeah, that's been sitting here for a while. Rollo wanted me to be sure to give you that one specifically. Well, that's just...
Luca tongued at his cheeks, feeling something rough between his teeth. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a slip of paper.
Oh, come on!
He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip.
Pick up when you need some pep. Near the fountain up the step.
Luca finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
Yeah, we're going... This is getting to be a whole thing. We're going to the coffee shop in back. Wait, was that why she was talking about Griffin? There you are, Luca. There's no way I'm actually doing this. It's way below my pay grade. Come on, you big stiff. Let the kids have some fun. Fine. Barolo owes me one.
Lumi waved his hands around sarcastically as he began.
What takes flight but has no wings? Your final task a friendship brings. See, that wasn't so hard. Oh hey, we got another charm. Hard. I feel cheapened somehow. You literally stand around being paid because you're too lazy to work. I think it's sweet. Good luck, Luca. Hey. Balloons. Hey. Hey. Did you find the comic book? Yep. And you got the corn dog? Yeah. Well then. I know it doesn't make up for what I said. But here, you've earned this.
Rollo sheepishly handed Luca the balloons.
Oh, we got another charm. Light. Running away. Thanks. You didn't have to go to all this trouble. I'm sorry I got so mad. Dang it, you were supposed to let me apologize first. Oh, sorry. Now you've apologized twice before me. Just let me do this. Luca, I'm really sorry. With everything that's happened with your mom and all, I've always wanted to be there for you. Be a good friend, you know? When you said you were hanging out with someone else, I kind of freaked out. Hello. Still my turn. I felt like if you need some new friend to help you, it meant that it wasn't good enough. But that was selfish and wrong. I was wrong. I'm so sorry, Luca. Okay, apology over. You can talk now.
Luca threw himself at Rollo, hugging him as tightly as he could.
Rollo, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you either. That's why we deserve each other. So, what else you want to do today? We can snoop around and try to find some info about your mom. Snoop where? We could probably sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ while everyone's at the festival. Aren't you curious about all the stuff those clipboards write down? What if we got caught? I think I've had enough excitement for 1 week. How much excitement have you had in this particular storyline? Because I don't think you've had very much besides the warehouse and running... No, wait. In this timeline, Luca was the only one to go to the warehouse, and he managed to get away. And that was it. None of it was reviewed with Rollo or Beck. Everything else has been pretty innocent since then. We haven't found out about the goings-on with Gran, or... There was another thread in my mind. Let's just make the rest of the day about us. Really? Yeah, the rest of the world can wait one more day. Can it? I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure this was the day things are supposed to go down. You know, I have been waiting to get some work done on the MCDC at Mission Control. The aim is a bit unpredictable. That sounds perfect. Done.
Oh, I've got a question for you. What do you think this whole festival is for?
The way I figure it, Perennial Harvest is trying to win over the town.
Like a bribe, but with balloons. Cynical. I like where your head's at. That's what I assumed at first too, until I eavesdropped on a couple of gossipy clipboards. What if I told you that this whole thing is really A special shindig for a super secret guest of honor. A special guest? Who? I haven't dug that deep yet, but whoever it is, PH thinks they're a big deal.
Perennial harvest. So there's still a third party coming along to the festival. Gran and her cohorts under, well, Eris' collaboration are going to blow up the fountain for whatever reason.
What? How goes the beetle hunt? Pretty rotten. I haven't seen so much as an XUV. And it's not just the beetles. This morning I couldn't find any critters at all. It's like that everything buzzes or skitters just packed up and left.
I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Maybe all the commotion in the festival just spooked them.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I'm pretty sure that's not it. Hey! Did you hear? After Mr. Kerr gives his big speech, they're gonna have the first annual Big Catch competition. As long as a boot qualifies as a catch, I'm a shoo-in. Good luck! Alright, memory fishing. Every time. Nothing new.
Luca tied us fishing with the...
Are we gonna run into Beck? Oh, I almost forgot. I ran into your Gran this morning. He asked me to give you this.
Rollo handed Luca an unopened letter.
I'll wait for you inside if you want to read it now.
A letter?
Luca, some things are going to happen that might be difficult for you to understand. If I am honest, I hardly understand them myself. But whatever happens, I need you to know that I love you. None of this is fair to you. You have already lost so much. We both have. I wish there was a simpler way forward. But if there is, I haven't thought of it. God knows I've tried. Everything I've done, I did for you. I hope someday you can accept that. Love, Gran.
I love you too, Gran.
Luca folded the paper into his pocket and headed up the ladder.
Yeah, they're just chilling. What's up with the letter? Anything you want to talk about? Maybe later. Sure, whenever you want. While they're away from all the noise.
You know, I really didn't have to go to... You really didn't have to go to all that trouble just to apologize.
I know, but I've been looking forward to the festival for weeks. And I ruined everything with my big mouth. This was the best way to make sure you still had a good time without me. Rollo.
Luca was at a loss for words, but that was fine. Words aren't always necessary.
The festival seemed nice. Was it nice? We can still go. Nah, this is fine. Well, there's always next year. No, there isn't.
Sadly, this was untrue. A distant rumble shook the treehouse.
Huh? What was that? Aw, man. We missed fireworks!
It was not fireworks. It was something the boys couldn't possibly comprehend. Something as old and cruel as time itself.
What? Everything froze over?
shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter, unfathomable chill. Before they could react, it encased them in ice. Two boys, reunited by friendship, only to be cruelly separated by a malevolence beyond reason. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a silent treehouse turned statuary, in a town brought low by its secrets, sits a pair of friends, alone, together. For the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't. I won't accept it, and I hope you won't either. There are more endings, more possibilities. I can feel it. We are just going to have to sort through them all until we find the one that fits.
Beginner's Guide to Hostile Interrogation. That's where we started at the start of this session. Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. We've got hard cop as an option now. Okay, NCDC, we can run away. So nothing else has more options right now. Let's go with A Beginner's Guide to Hostile Interrogation.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze.
Rolo's the one who's gonna be the hard cop. Got it.
I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, 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 Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now, hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We could do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You tied me down! How on earth can I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk! Spill the beans! What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper! To make sure everything's ready! Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran? Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh? Blow up the festival? Good lord!
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where
His voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source?
It's where the town began?
We need more information.
Yeah, but we better not push Mr. Tolliver any farther. Is there anyone else you might know? Who might know more?
What about the History Museum? It just got it set up for the festival.
Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about this source thing, Cato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Instant transition. We're already in the library. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little young to be a librarian? Oh, Cato hung you out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet, and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the next I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing. We sort of don't know.
What do you got on the history of the town?
There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over.
Come again?
The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spit it out.
Sound like my sister.
Keep pushing your luck, pal.
And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record.
Really? Is that the best you got?
When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey! We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that? What was that name, Beck? In the orbit? J. Hartford. From the Brookfield Tribune 20 years ago. That can't be right. What is it?
J. Hartford. That's my grand's name. Juniper Hartford.
Maybe there are 2 J. Hartfords?
Mrs. Hartford is survived by your younger daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your grand is 6 feet under 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10.
Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. Gotta go.
Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement?
I'll think of something.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering. He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace?
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. I just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Ha. Okay, now I can think. If Gran knows we sat at Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done.
Gran?
Okay, stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride
Jam.
began to falter.
The jam! There's stuff in the jam! Mr. Nuncreed's jam in particular.
He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
Jam? Mission accomplished. I'm asleep. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? What's she dragging? Rest now and let me handle everything. No, she was dragging him.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches.
Like Mr. Kerr's speech? Does that mean Mr. Tolliver did not finish with those explosives? They were still downstairs.
Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival! And the basement is still open. Hey, it's Beck and Rollo. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho. Sly devil. Sly. New charm. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around but haven't found anything odd. Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is loafing around just waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing... hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and... I suppose you already know that. Oh, yes, before we get started. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be here where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right. Where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear for our mayor. What a great turnout. Oh, heck, I didn't prepare anything.
but I suppose I could say a few words. It would be a shame to waste such a beautiful podium. That seems like a subtle jab at Gus.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Didn't prepare anything, my butt. Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. I'm not even doing the voice right. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together here today. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. Simple business trip, which brought me to a small town, which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. Yeah, the source. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this great town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
He should have gone into politics. The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are the horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we'll be all making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim...
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits! And everything freezes.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end. There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again. No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Okay, beginner's guide to hostile interrogation now has sly as an option. We still got flight for the MCDC. Windows to the soul is still closed. Let's try sly. Sly cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here?
You're that motorwheel girl.
Please, call me back.
Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
Seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here to...
Beck twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal's nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out that we were going to destroy the source, well, we would both know how bad that would be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things down. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure you can finish this on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good, there is one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day, I had the radio on scan while we were stocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in Perennial Harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. She said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it? It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf. But all he ever sells is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
Gonna go fill my water bottle. Be right back. Okay.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seemed.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find a hidden meeting. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Oh! It's an anagram. Nuncrade's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's new drugstore. Yeah, I think you were at the first time. How'd you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess you know where to go next.
I have an odd idea. What if eventually at the two main branches, the end, they converge at one spot?
Okay. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral.
Okay.
You're late, Augustus.
Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work.
Work? You?
I had a few more details to lock down for the festival.
Oh? What do you have to report? What is this insipid festival really... What is this insipid town festival really about?
I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really just Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him.
I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town.
Was.
Excuse me?
This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems.
Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That's just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our down backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When all this inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a choice to not. We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change, whether we like it or not.
Quack, quack, quack.
Hello. You back from chilling? Yeah. It's just endings. We found 2 where the source is destroyed and everything just freezes. We know that Gran isn't who she says she is. Nuncreed is likely in cahoots with, Kerr. The toxic waste around by the Valentine warehouse is Kerr's doing. Perennial Harvest doing. Whoops. Okay. What else is on my mind? What else have we figured out? Whatever, let's just continue. Are we here? Are we going to choose to be a part of that future? Or to be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus. But you always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late. It's getting late, children. Alright, what you got for me? Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. Huh. I do hate when the villain makes a good point. Well, hey, it's Solomon.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. And where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes there's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. I kinda like this kid. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. But whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. Cake. Oh, she was just insulting him. The only a Gus? She was just insulting him because they're not agreeing on how to take the next steps. My confection of choice? Probably a muffin. Something with chocolate chips. If it has to be candy, I know Henry's always good. Sour peaches are nice, every now and again. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's easy as cold, hard cash. Well, he's right. It's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Telephone booth, telephone booth, telephone booth. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's Nude Rug Store. I mean, Underground Secrets. The password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secret. Sounds like that did something. Great. Now what? I guess we... Wah!
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Whoa.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it. You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Rolo, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. Looks like each one of these has something written on them. Mining operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Pa always said you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late. There's the cracked mask. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like an Uncreed and talks like an Uncreed. Let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could you be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. That's a lot of buttons.
Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Willow's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Rollo, what did she do?
Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide! Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. And it's Nuncreed. Shit. 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 Awesome! You all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told him it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever.
They who?
That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins.
We don't care about our skins.
Hold on now, I like my skin.
This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him.
Who?
Walt.
You don't get to talk about my dad.
You know, your father and I were friends back before
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this.
That's a lie.
It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee.
What happened?
Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yup. Total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. But he'd found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plot line. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes.
I take it there's a point to this sob story?
Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What?
You don't really know?
My gran isn't out of this.
She's been scheming right under your nose.
Juniper?
Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party.
She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would
The
she...
color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know?
Apparently she knows a lot of things.
What?
Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today.
And honestly, hers is way cooler. She got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now! She's in danger, boy! Oh. Deep and rough voices were easier before COVID. Damn it!
I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square.
The fountain? But why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source?
What the heck is the source?
Right, they didn't learn about the source this time. If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze them. Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back.
That did not go how I expected.
So...
We're totally following him, right?
Totally. See you on the other side.
You good? Yep.
I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view.
Hold up. That's where Gran's house is supposed to be. It's all covered in snow and there's no house.
A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
That was intense. Yeah.
I think I might have parted with some fluids in there.
Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold.
Doesn't look like he got on any of us.
It didn't feel like we traveled that far.
So where did it all go?
This place sucks. Why would anyone want to blow up at something out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We gotta catch up with Nuncreed. I think he went this way.
Kate, there's no house. This is definitely the front yard.
There's no tree. There's a gravestone still here?
Okay. No, everything is old. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. Something's not right here. Everything's frozen over. There's a fence around where the path to the treehouse is. That building isn't right for perennial harvest. I may not be the most well-versed on things big in pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncrete is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective? Kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving. There's toxic waste. This is like somehow the future. But this building is too small for a perennial harvest.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncrete inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncrete was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncrete turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncrete spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncrete winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to lie in your pocket. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Weep.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This will all make sense soon, Luca. Then everything will go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to.
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence. Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca, her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror, there was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
MCDC. So this is the scene where we're confronting Kerr and the clipboards with a disfigured, I forget the bully's name at this point. We're on top of the treehouse. Time to change our tactic from fight to flight.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
Okay, so this storyline. I think we've already met Beck. Yeah, we met Beck, and that's when we ran across the bully, and he got covered in the green goo and got disfigured with the aging properties. Now we're with him on top of our treehouse. Rollo is still missing. Beck's gone home. We still don't know anything.
He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Fine. We know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
Wait,
What? We're already back into the frozen town? How are we here? This doesn't make any sense. That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is, there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Okay, so... the replica town that's being frozen by the source is literally right next door. What? Hold up. When Perennial Harvest came in, they did renovations on the town. They had everyone else hole up for like a month in another town or another city. They built a replica of the town? Oh yeah, he's got the radio in this one. Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
Is that bozo Kerr? I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods. I thought it was Rolo calling.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. Wait. That means this is where his dad is actually buried. The other one with the other tree is a replica. How do they replicate the trees? This is literally the exact same scene. Minus the house. Why is the house missing? Oh. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's a bit down from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Meh, still within safe ranges. Maybe spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Oops, I missed one. Let's get this over with. What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weep Wood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pine? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape.
The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of this leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving.
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weep Wood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. This stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle I, shoved me into, yeah. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
That actually leads to the pond. The one with the actual fish in it. Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't gonna save the day. We aren't even gonna save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You just can't quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way the snow covered everything over. Kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sorta rose up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You're supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course! Geez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things to trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Roller are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet and she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with his sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know.
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh, must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay alone for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What did you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes.
Hold up. How is he remembering dreams across different storylines?
Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive.
Come again?
The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere. Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure
Dawn.
approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall.
Not Dawn.
It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
It's what you think you're doing.
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two have certainly caused a lot of commotion. I don't know this character. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We are asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you.
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-headed, scarfy-necked furball. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all calm down. Let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. This is Dawn's contact.
A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility.
What? Excuse me?
Great. How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off?
Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait. Do you live here? You might say that.
Do you know where? So you know where we are?
You might also say that.
Look, pal, we just want a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not?
Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are.
All right, that does it. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here, one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough of the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines.
Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood, or we teleported to some alternate universe, or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home.
You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful.
Just give it to us straight.
So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original true Beacon Pines.
And that's On the Way Home is done.
You both grew up here. But the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair.
Oh! They engineered all of the plants to look exactly the same? Is that really it? Is that why Jeff is noticing everything is a little off?
But a replica nonetheless.
That's impossible. It's too much work. You need a whole town to replicate a whole town.
Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate.
We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed.
You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable.
If we could have a moment of your time, we would love to hear your thoughts. What the hell?
A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has real aversion to discontinuity, or revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane.
Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably.
So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all, and no one noticed?
Precisely.
But why?
Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source.
Why'd you say the source like that?
Why indeed.
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
This is all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home,
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard, a headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry.
They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his trig, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide. $259K. Fall-off distance is still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. Well, with everything we left behind, that's the grave of someone with a family. The people who loved them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. Weirdo. Who's moonwalking? Really? Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luca stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Iggy gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey! Who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover. Who are you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah! Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off this switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to perennial harvests. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do this.
It can get awfully cold out there in the woods, in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way.
Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her?
Oh heavens no, do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Ah, shucks, now that hurts my feelings.
Screw that guy. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that?
Long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff.
So why did you bury it under a tree?
That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's kitchen coop. And you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yup. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary decoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rolo got grounded for months. Which is why I need to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. But when he came back for them later, they were gone. I figured some grown-ups found him and tossed him.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable.
Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who's in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us?
You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for blast off, loser.
Okay.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo! 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 Whoa! I can see why they wanted to move us out of town now. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's the dang hole? How do we smash a hole?
Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend.
Kerr! Where's Rollo?
I was in line before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Drats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It's really something, isn't it?
What did you do to our town? What is all of this?
Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What? What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us? You are, smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
I thought that was pronounced saturine.
it really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way.
Seems like you're destined to be a creepy lackey.
The point is, we all play a part. The point is, we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. And you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call.
We aren't giving up without fight. Your smile's not gonna be so winning after we're done with you.
Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change! There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you. Regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. But, that's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool! Call up your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca. Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference, they're always listening. If you do that, the Clippers will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr is out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. Ha ha! You should have heard me sing the part of Phyllis Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Dum dum dum. Dum dum. Wow, can you believe this guy? Hum! We got a new charm!
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go! No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are! Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no! Thank you.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't! It's the only way out of this mess. Two birds with one stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
A calm calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. Here's a choice. Refuse.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away.
Founder. Valentine's still alive, isn't he?
A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end. I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Okay. There's a new choice there. What if we accept?
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
How he's setting up the fireworks as he goes down. Hell of a goodbye, Iggy.
Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before a perennial harvest arrives.
Not until you tell me what just happened.
Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway.
How?
Tempest liquamarine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being, by adding the precise amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade.
So the gunk that makes things cold and the fireworks made the whole freeze over?
That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again.
If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping?
I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn? You are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder.
That's a bad name.
Revenge served cold, second time's a charm?
No! Second charm.
Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Those purple letters, that's Rollo's favorite, one of Rollo's favorite ciphers, the invisible ink. Hum it is, fire and ice. Hum.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
She's his mom. She aged.
Lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo. The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, Buckaroo. Mom!
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were... gone? You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then, what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We have got a party to crash. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago.
Oh?
Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
How many kids does that woman have? And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd. And just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. While they had us evacuated? Miss Harford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to... You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I am Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just as sneaky as the Dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs.
She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is...
That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir.
Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, the ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's buried in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir? It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist. A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No!
Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Ha! Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. Malice. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr.
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward! Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Do you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy? Daddy? I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. So I'm disappointed. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But I... Silence, Augustus, an adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who's completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Yes, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where's Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. The people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You are simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up. You're about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already fretted away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again. And I'm willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty.
Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of perennial harvest?
Ha! You think that puffed up blatherskite could have accomplished all of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire at your service. We learned about him in the library. Founder, I want to thank you again for this opportunity. It was truly the role of a lifetime.
Wait. So this Bill Kerr was a patsy the whole time?
Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you?
Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple.
I'm not afraid of you.
Ha! The young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you.
You can't do this.
Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do, given time. Just like his statue. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous. A secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Malice. Windows to the soul. Okay, this timeline, Rollo is missing. I just ran into Beck. We saw Juniper Eleanor talking with Eris, with Beck. Yeah? I don't quite remember.
There was a malice lurking behind those eyes, like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want all of this to be over. Of course, I'm sure it'll all work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check up for Rollo at the treehouse.
Luca twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca. You know, your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. I'm not even sure I've used all of these. And there's Solomon, Sharper.
He looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mom always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. But my problems always seemed to grow right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead.
Okay. I don't know who Sharper's friend is. I mean, he must know. Is he also like a de-aged person? These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad, it's boring. What if we did something, a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Don, what you got? Nope. Oh, hey. Identify yourself, please. Nellie Maudwill. I work here now. I am unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold up, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. Okay, Jeff. Whoa. You could get a wrench to the noggin sneaky up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junking, Sonny. Evening, Jeff. It's kind of late to be junking. Isn't it kind of late to be junking? I might as well ask the same thing to you. Find anything good? Bah, ever since Perennial Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. With this bunch, it's all shredded paper and coffee cups. Shredded paper? Well, I'd better get going. I didn't see nothing, you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. See if there's anything else in the memory fishing box. Nope.
Luca placed a sometime.
Rollo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rollo! Rollo, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace.
Another
Once
dream.
again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire, the source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket, a keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together." Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you." Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real?" Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me." Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. And you? The doppelganger choked back tears. I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone. Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. I think so. His father pulled him in for an embrace. Time to go, buckaroo. Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in
A
there?
commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open. Chapter 5. Dangers big and small. Luca stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
What? Stop right there, or I'll... Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are you?
The large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, 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 take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rollo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rollo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Ha 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 ha, uncle? Look, I quit messing around. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rollo, only bigger, older, changed.
How? What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? Don't know. They threw a bag over my head. It was cold. It smelled like a swimming pool. Chlorine. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big. Look.
Rollo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower. But beggars can't be choosers. Rollo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rollo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What the?
His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rollo, what did they do to you? They made me drink some sort of green crud. Ew. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It tasted kind of like licorice. Really? I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sorta smashed open my cage and escaped. Whoa, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think it did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage? Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome. Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luca, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We may finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger? Ha!
Rollo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. Right, this is the timeline where her hair turned gray. Now it's dyed. Hey fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rollo dove behind Luca.
Ah! Take cover! Did I come at a bad time?
Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something truly bizarre just happened and I need help. I didn't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your large adult friend? No, this is my buddy Rolo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, you're the one that just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How'd you find us? You see the little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. Hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca? This is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rolo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened? Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rolo.
anything you can say around me, you can say around Rolo. It's been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when he made it back home. My first order of business was try to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mom gave me. Okay. Just need to play it cool. And hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing. I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what did you do? What in the world did you do to your hair? I kind of just felt like a change. This is going to take forever to grow out. You were the one who said a change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck. He is! Him and that weird cult of personality. You are not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. The people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains. You'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know, I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival. But not another peep.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey. But that doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more...
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? Now, I'm sorry I got you in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look.
Great, can we get back to the story now?
The next part is the important bit. I have this radio upgraded with my mom, and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial into something worth listening to.
Mr. Kerr, are you there? Mr. Kerr?
Yes, I'm busy. What is it?
Apologies, I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment.
Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you.
Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering? Because the last one ended up in a body bag!
Nelly mode wheel seems to be integrating nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it.
Excellent. And you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor?
Her work must be complete before the festival. I'll make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished.
Good. You know how I feel about loose ends.
Yes, sir.
Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects in the company.
Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold.
We are in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Frescott, I can't afford to take any risks.
Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she will either leave the office completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all.
Perfect.
Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit.
Oh?
It's just, we seem to be rushing to hit the festival deadline. And rushing into things has caused some issues in the past.
I see.
Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me.
Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions.
Of course, sir.
Chin up, Bill. You're only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, when they were said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone. Capital murder.
Luca gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who's this founder? I was hoping you guys would know.
Nah, as far as we know, Kerr is the top banana at perennial harvest.
He sounded scared of this founder guy.
So we haven't even topped her banana in the field.
What the hell is my mom caught up in? Has she talked much about the job? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Someone she respected.
Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was
the person Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense.
Beck? It seems like Nellie's predecessor got, loose-ended.
I get that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens.
That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work?
The creep on the radio said they were going to hold her until then. Hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this'll help.
You have blueprints?
Well, it's really just a welcome map for my mom's PH Orientation day. Blah, 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 blah. But it shows the layout.
Sure looks like the blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area, and here's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline, we have an objective, we have blueprints. You realize what this is, right?
Willow started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6.
I'm gonna have to call it there. It's getting pretty late. It's getting really late. I pushed this farther than I anticipated it would go. There's a lot more to this game than I thought. I thought I was near the end, but this feels like it's still a bit of ways off. Yeah, it's been fun for me too. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you when I see you. I'm still not quite satisfied with it. Bye.